Polygyny is when men have multiple partners. Polygamy is the active or active men having multiple wives. Now, some people are going, what is he talking about? This is not even possible. But take this into consideration. We have literally seen in the past 3 decades the evolution and acceptance of many types of what they used to call alternative relationships. Swinging, single mothers having value on the marketplace, gay, homosexual relationships, bisexual relationships, transgender relationships where a person will trans into something else and then date somebody of the opposite gender. I mean, it creates the confusion. Today, it's more than acceptable to have any of these relationships. 30 years ago, you would be an outsider. 30 years ago, you might be even ostracized. So if you think about it, in the last 30 years, we've seen the acceptance of a lot of different type of relationships. Now, the modern day monogamous relationships in couples, that whole dynamic is in trouble. That whole dynamic is in trouble. Now, people will naturally want it because many people are conditioned. Many people will say they're in monogamous relationships when they're not. Even today, people who are in affairs are literally not in monogamous relationships. Many people who are married at about 50% on both male and female, wife and husband, are having affairs. So the idea that we are really practicing monogamy is a myth. We're not practicing monogamy more than likely. Most people aren't, although they say they are. But monogamous relationships today, they're not as necessary as they were in the past. See, family is no longer celebrated. It is actually, you can actually get demonized for wanting to be a traditional family. And it's no longer a priority. Families are no longer a priority. Like raising your kids is no longer a priority. You can go out here, be a slower. You can be out here being a male whore. Go out there, have kids, have them live over here, date over here, fornicate over here. The kids are no longer a priority. Like tomorrow. There's no accountability to others. There's no accountability for actions. You can mess up your entire life, make poor decisions, poor choices, and then blame somebody else later. This is the society we live in. So marriages, as a result, they're struggling. And there's no more communities. You don't even know your neighbor. You live in a nice community, a gated community. You still don't know your neighbors. Add the impact of the economy. And I believe that polygyny and polyamory are going to be the wave of the future. All right, this is what I'm talking about. Believe it or not, we are unofficially practicing poly relationships right now. It's just not on paper yet. At some point, it may be on paper. And here's the deal. These poly relationships will be the norm. People will say, they're going to look the other way. They're just going to be like, that's just what it is. Before, we would fight it and shame people and give them the scarlet letter and divorce them and break up. Now, people will say, I'll be one or the other. It's fine. I'll be this part of the poly. I'll be that part of the poly. Now, the future poly relationships will be more transactional than they will be communal. So before, like you said, the sister wives, right? They're going to be more transactional. I'm this part of the relationship, so therefore I have to stay. He's paying me. Or I'm the wife and he supports me, so I have to stay even though I know he has a sugar baby. Or I'm a single mom and the dad pays me child support, but I do get dates from this guy. Or this guy's a deadbeat, but I get child support from this good man, and therefore I support this man as a means to make it through. You see what I'm saying? There's going to be a lot of those relationships, and it's going to be normal. Have we seen an example of this? Let me show you. Yes, we have. We've seen an example of this. See, if I did what Hugh Hefner did, I would be an a-hole. Now, Hugh Hefner does it at age 80, 85, and he has 20 and 30-year-old girlfriends. Everybody just says, well, it is what it is. See, these type of poly relationships, they've already been implanted in front of you to get you ready for it. Anytime the media does this, they do it for a reason. And the reason is to get you to accept it in real life at some point. So if the conditions worsen financially, we're going to hear and see more of what reminds you of this biblical passage. Isaiah 4:1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat of our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our shame. Guys, this is the future coming up, and it will happen if the economics continue to go this way.